Imagine strolling through the market expecting to find fresh produce, but instead, you're met with an unexpected scene: a cluster of single women actively seeking companionship. This peculiar sight reflects what thousands of individuals experience in China today. In the bustling streets of Chinese metropolises, these lonely women seek comfort and connection in unique communities. In these often humble and secluded places, they share experiences, challenges, and victories. The exchange of stories and collective support form the basis of their strength and perseverance. By meeting others facing similar realities, they find a sense of warmth and empathy, something that is often scarce in other aspects of their lives. Together, they stand up against the pressures and prejudices of society, which often belittles or ignores their chosen lifestyles. These communities emerge as beacons of light and hope in turbulent times, providing crucial emotional support and encouragement to persist on their paths. This network of mutual support empowers these women to live according to their own ideals and desires. They learn to appreciate their individual voices and pursue their goals with passion and determination. Every small triumph is cause for collective celebration, strengthening the bonds of camaraderie among them. More than mere support groups, these communities act as catalysts for change, encouraging them to question social norms and fight for their happiness and fulfillment. These are the so-called leftover women, a label often assigned to unmarried women over 27. However, of course, this term carries a negative connotation. It's important to note the language used to describe both single men and women in China. For women over 30 who haven't tied the knot yet, Chinese culture labels them as shengnu, a Mandarin term translating to leftover women. In Cantonese, this expression gets even more derogatory, likening them to forgotten fruits at the bottom of the basket or unsold items, as if they're just fillers. On the flip side, men in the same boat are seen in a more positive light, dubbed diamond bachelors. The question looms: why does this perception gap exist in Chinese society? And what drives many to take drastic measures in their quest for a partner? The key to understanding this dynamic lies in the intense social pressures and realities experienced in the country. A significant milestone in this context was the introduction of the one-child policy in 1979, a strict strategy adopted to curb population growth. This policy was ended in 2016, allowing families to have 2 children, and more recently updated to encourage births of up to 3 children. China introduced the one-child policy back in 1979 as a government measure aimed at curbing the country's rapid population growth. At the time, the Chinese government was concerned about potential economic and environmental issues that could arise from a constantly expanding population. So, they decided to strictly limit the number of children each family could have to just 1. This policy had a profound impact on Chinese society. Besides altering the traditional family structure, it also led to a significant gender imbalance, owing to the cultural preference for male children. The remnants of the old one-child policy still linger today, reflected in the ratio of roughly 105 men to every 100 women. It's worth noting the persistent preference for male offspring in Chinese society. Men are often seen as carriers of the family legacy, responsible for perpetuating the family name and ensuring the continuity of the family inheritance. Historically, sons are viewed as the financial and emotional support for parents in their old age, a belief deeply rooted in millennia of cultural tradition. This perception persists today, despite social and economic transformations. However, despite the greater number of men compared to women, the central issue isn't simply a matter of gender mathematics. The complexity of the problem extends beyond what a simple swipe on dating apps could solve. In Chinese society, there's a clear preference for wives in their early 20s. Women who surpass this age without getting hitched often face hurdles in finding a partner, as male preference heavily leans towards younger mates. It's not uncommon to encounter men openly expressing this inclination, many of whom opt for bachelorhood rather than being with older women. Marriage dynamics in China are undergoing significant transformation. An increasing number of single women are choosing alternative paths for their lives, diverging from traditional expectations. The Chinese social structure differs significantly from Western norms, something that's reflected in the attitudes and personal choices of its citizens. In the ongoing tech rivalry between China and the United States, there's a striking contrast in the type of content each country's audience is exposed to. In China, for instance, the TikTok platform features a version that prioritizes scientific, educational, and historical content. On the flip side, the American version of the platform is better known for its light entertainment videos like dances and sometimes questionable quality content. Given this scenario, it's no wonder that an increasing number of women are prioritizing higher education or career advancement in their lives. As a consequence, there's been a rise in the average age at which people decide to tie the knot, with many opting to remain single. This phenomenon poses a challenge to traditional social conventions, which traditionally placed marriage and starting a family as top priorities for women. The redefinition of these priorities reflects not only a change in perspective, but also in social context. Reports indicate a growing challenge for men in rural regions of China in finding marriage partners. The main reason: a significant wave of women migrating from the countryside to the city in search of job opportunities and a better standard of living. While many of these women who achieve professional success in the city show little concern about remaining single, family traditions still wield strong influence. This leads some parents to take matters into their own hands, participating in marriage markets to promote their single daughters. At these events, which regularly take place on weekends, it's common to see parents displaying the marriage profiles of their children, which go beyond basic information like age and height, also including whether they own property or vehicles. Having their own house or car significantly elevates a single person's status in the marriage market. It might sound quite unusual to many ears. What's even more curious is that several of these girls, and guys, promoted by their parents in parks or marriage markets, don't even know their profiles are being publicly displayed. This phenomenon isn't limited to daughters alone. Sons are also promoted by their parents. Imagine going back in time to your youth, living your single life peacefully. And suddenly, out of the blue, your dad or mom starts a pilgrimage through these markets in search of a partner for you. These initiatives, though they might seem peculiar, have deep roots in cultural traditions and showcase the enormous social pressure to marry, revealing just how far parents will go to prevent their children from being left behind in this marriage race. Few outside China grasp the magnitude of this market, which moves a significant amount of financial resources. Numerous renowned companies go to great lengths to capture a slice of the lucrative Chinese market. Take Apple, for example, which has been criticized for allowing the Chinese government access to its users' data. Meanwhile, the wedding and dating sector in China is booming, generating estimated annual revenues exceeding $300 million. This reality has sparked theories among some sociologists that the label of leftover women might be a construct of the marriage industry itself, aiming to boost profits by capitalizing on the insecurities of parents and single women. While predicting the future is complex, a study released by The Conversation suggests that the 7 million single women aged 25 to 34, residing in urban areas of China, play a crucial role in the country's economic development. Currently, these women represent about 41% of China's GDP, the highest percentage recorded in any nation. According to another analysis, it's likely that the situation of leftover women in China will persist for a good while, despite the various obstacles they face, including increased surveillance, home confinements, and detentions. Yet in the face of these challenges, feminist movements in China continue their fight for justice and equal rights. The fight for justice and gender equality in China, despite the obstacles, remains a topic of critical importance, showcasing the resilience and determination of feminist movements in the country. The implications of these changes are vast, not just for China, but for the world, as we observe how such an influential nation navigates through these transitions. If you found this topic intriguing and want to continue exploring the complexities of social, economic, and gender issues in China and beyond, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you don't miss any content. Your participation is crucial. Comment below with your opinions, questions, or related experiences. Let's deepen our understanding of these important issues together and promote constructive dialogue. Don't forget to share the video with anyone who might be interested in these discussions. See you in the next video.